All right, welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. Post game, March 18th. Boston Bruins lose to the Buffalo Sabres 3-2 in overtime. A goal that is scored by Alex Tuck. We'll get into the game a bit and some other things. Razor had his unobstructed views. We can talk buffalo wings. People seem to like the radish and onion talk, so maybe we just do more food-related stuff if the Boston Bruins continue to have a hard time. Fazenda Coffee is our lead-in pod sponsor, Razor, and we love having them in that role. Go check out fazendacoffee.com/morningbrew. And if you're wondering how it's spelled, if only because I say it fast, it's Fazenda, fazendacoffee.com/morningbrew. The Morning Brew blend, the Morning Brew hats, the Morning Brew clean canteen mugs. Go check out all their coffee. Whether you got a wholesale business or a retail one, or you just want it at home, go check out Fazenda Coffee for all your coffee needs. They power some of Boston's best cafes and restaurants with exceptional products. They can also service you at home. And so go check it out. From light roast to the dark roast, you can get whatever you want, whole bean to ground, fazendacoffee.com. All right, how was were you unobstructed again tonight, or were you obstructed at sometimes? How were you tonight?
Well, the game kind of worked. I mean, it went fast, right? Like really, really fast. So,
until freaking overtime.
Until the end.
Yeah.
So we were obstructed enough in the first two periods where it moved along and everything went well. And, it was for two teams that probably aren't going to make the playoffs. It was a decent hockey game, right? It was up and down.
Wait a second. Buffalo is definitely not making the playoffs. I know they haven't been eliminated, but
they're not.
Highly unlikely for your Boston Bruins.
Yeah, we're at that point now. It's basically you got to go undefeated, unfortunately. So I was being optimistic again.
Well, that might be the Coors Banquet speaking.
Yeah, exactly. Not enough of that had the site either. So we saw enough of it. It was, again, overtime was entertaining for sure. Something to talk about.
Yeah. It was a game that, I didn't start great for the Bruins. I didn't think it started great.
No.
They got their legs 7-8 minutes in or so. I don't remember the exact time. Look, I mean, one of my least favorite sayings in the world is that it is what it is. But it is what it is right now. You got one line, the Zaka line, Geeky and Pasternak, that are just bringing it. They're doing their part. Everybody else is trying. It's just, you can just see that it's not as effective. And sadly, we're saying similar things that we have said the last couple of games now. After, again, the 2-game post-trade deadline bump, we'll call it, the excitement, the potential, I think, that some people thought, but it's back now to isn't this what we expected? I mean, when it's all said and done, isn't this what you kind of thought you'd end up seeing, Razor, a team that would give it their all, but the all might just not be enough given what they are?
No, you need the horses. In the NHL, you need the horses. And you can get by in a lot of different places in the world with grit and hard work and effort, but the NHL is not one of those places. You still need to produce, and you still need guys to change games and make difference. And yeah, as good as the first line is, and I can't commend them enough for the hard work they're putting into an effort that they know it's all on them. That's a difficult place for those three guys, knowing that it's basically all on them. And unfortunately, they don't. It's not enough. It just really isn't enough, and that's where they're at. They couldn't pull out the St. Paddy's Day win before they went on the road.
So right, yeah, they go on the road. That leads perfectly into my next comment question. The road is very fun in the NHL. It can be a drudgery at times. So my question, this though, is this a good time for them to go on the road? I mean, it's a long trip. They're leaving on Tuesday, starting in Vegas, going through California, coming back to finish in Detroit. I mean, you're going away from Tuesday afternoon to the following Saturday, late Saturday night. So I don't know how many days is that? 10, 12? I don't remember. Regardless, it's a solid East Coast team trip. Normally the East Coast teams, 7, 8 days usually is the max. Western teams, 12 to 14 is not uncommon at least once, if not twice a year. With that said, the Bruins have a solid roadie coming up. They're to some fun cities, no question about it. But given where the team is at right now, put yourself on that plane or in that room. Is this a good time to go on the road, or are they saying we're going away for a long time and this could be a tough roadie?
Yeah, you're more at the latter now. That again, if you are 12 points in the playoffs and you're fighting for first, this is a perfect time to go away. But now, where you basically can only focus on hockey, you can only think about hockey. It doesn't have quite the same vibe, and it's probably going to feel pretty long for everybody.
So. And the coaches, they'll have time off on the road. Don't get me wrong, but the coaches still want to coach. They still feel the need to coach too. And so there's still going to be practices, and you don't want every day off. But, again, if you go out there and when your first game is in Vegas, and that's going to be a tough as heck game. And then you're going through Cali. You say you should beat San Jose, but San Jose's, the Bruins right now are
going to pose problems for the Bruins.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. So my point is that I'm curious to see how this road trip goes. Because this could be a very tough one, especially if you don't start out well. Then all of a sudden you're finding yourself in one. But at least they're going to get some warmth. They'll have some fun. Again, they're going out a full day early. They're heading out Tuesday. They'll get in because of the 3-hour game. They'll have evening off in Vegas. Then they'll have practice in Vegas on Wednesday. They don't play until Thursday night. So maybe get a little show in, a little dining, a little gambling in. Why not? That's also part of being an NHLer.
It is. And with the one good thing is the next few days, especially, the guys that just got moved here will be able to hang out with everybody. And they'll be able to be a team together, because even after the deadline, they've just been home. So it's a different aspect. You just don't get to hang out with guys when families are involved, and you're leaving after practice, and now you're immersed. So you will get to know guys better. We'll get to know what guys really have, and again, we're in an evaluation process now over the next 13 games, and going on the road, you'll get a really good idea of who they are and what you have in the dressing room.
And on the flip side, this is also, though, a time then for your spouse to get to know others, but it's also a long time for that spouse to be alone in a city now. So some of those significant others could be taking a vacation themselves or going somewhere to visit family. Henry Yokihari was telling me that he and his wife and pet and dog moved into an Airbnb. They got out of the hotel, which is a good, it's a good idea. You get to experience the city that way a little bit differently. And, Middlestad is still dealing with the hotel, and it's just different. You got the guys called up from the American League, but they had their homes in Providence. So, it's different for them, but I'll be very curious to see, Razor, too, if they call up 1 or 2 players to take them on the road. You're only allowed 4 regular recalls after the NHL trade deadline. You can have emergency recalls that, you can utilize when players are ill or injured. But to stock your team up before you go on a long road trip, which I got to imagine they take 1 extra forward and 1 extra defenseman, I'll be curious to see who they call up from the American Hockey League.
Yeah, it'll be interesting after, tonight's loss if they go one way or the other, and you're right, it's not like they can call everybody up at this point.
No, which is, I was talking about this with Judd and earlier in the day, Judd Surratt, and BSing about stuff, and it's really an antiquated rule. Like, why can't you just call up as many people? I mean, what kind of circumvention of you're not really worried about a cap or whatever. I mean, so what? So what if you have more players in the American League? I don't know. We both agreed on that.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I think they had that in place so people couldn't get buried the day before the trade deadline, and right,
Right.
but we're the league's kind of past that, or hopefully you're past that, and hopefully that gets looked at a little bit closer because you should be able to make moves up and down. But basically, they were worried about teams like Toronto where they can have an unlimited budget in the minors, and they
Right.
just bury guys. They bury $20 million worth of salary down there and then call everybody back up. But we're probably past that as a league, and that should be looked at because the reality is it doesn't help
This time of year, especially for teams like this that you're seeing, like you want to play youth, but you also then do you want to keep them in the minors? Then you also, you're going to make guys more tired. More tired means more injuries, et cetera, all that stuff. So there's got to be. I can get off the high horse here or whatever, the diatribe, and just say that they got to figure this out. But the Bruins are going to call people up. Fraser Minton, if you follow, whether it's the P Bruins or other people that really know the American League well for the Bruins. He had you've seen by now that he had a natural hat trick on Sunday evening. And so is that the type of guy you call up? Do you call up another young guy? Do you call up a veteran and just say, hey, young guys, you marinate down in the minors, you keep doing your thing? It will be interesting to see if and who. I got to imagine at least one player, if not one forward and one D, get a call.
Yeah, and I'm curious how they treat this. I am, and I don't. You can, like you just made a good case for both ways. I don't know. I don't know which way the Bruins will think. I think it'll be a story either way. Because again, you can really go youth and just say, okay, Minton's going to play the rest of the year up, but there is a pretty good school of thought that just lets them do their thing, and let's keep evaluating them there and base what they're doing there for later in the summer or next year.
Because again, this is not like they're calling them up for a game at home, or let's say a trip where you play 2 games in 4 days and then they're back in the American League. And now you can always send them back, but does that become unnecessary? Does That's that, right. So in theory, you're taking these players on this extended road trip. Yeah. And I don't have the Providence schedule in front of me, but you have to consider how many games they would miss down there as well. And eventually, with all the travel, would they get enough practice time? Would they keep up what they need to do, et cetera? It's just, you could call up another 2 vets. But anyways, we'll see. I think we'll know by practice, 11:30 on Tuesday. We'll have an idea. I don't have an idea. I can't figure it out. No. Speaking of figuring it out, Bruins offensively not being able to figure it out again in the second period in this game. Now, they didn't have 0 shots on goal like they did in the previous game. They had just 4, 2 or 3 opportunities, though, legit opportunities in the second period. They're up 2-1. I'm not going through the game like we normally do. The first period, they do get scored on first. It was a power play goal by Krebs, but then Zacha and Geekie score. They were both really nice goals. The Zacha goal was really the work of Morgan Geekie, skate the stick, the heel, the stick again, the deke, the Zacha, and then the Geekie goal was a breakaway goal. Which, by the way, you don't get to listen to us, I don't think, because you're working as well. But were you surprised that Samuelsson didn't either go under the stick of Geekie or slash his stick and take the penalty shot or something like that? I was shocked. I was thrilled for Morgan Geekie, and he made a beautiful move to the forehand, but I thought Samuelsson would have done something a little more there, unless both Barry and I thought so.
Yeah, Pekka Luukkonen was completely fooled by the fact Samuelsson was back-checking the way he did and didn't do anything, kind of. He took the shot away from Geekie enough where that's what Pekka Luukkonen was expecting. I think Geekie wanted to do, and then the puck kind of bobbled to him on the outside. So he was in between, and we were joking, like, that's a play where you don't want a defense, like, don't back check, like, don't even bother, just get out of the way and let the goalie figure it out, because he completely screwed up the read for the goal.
Complete. Like, he ends up back checking with one hand on his stick. I'm thinking he's completely whacking Geekie. That he's just gonna take him down, take the penalty shot, like, put him so to speak on the in the spotlight there. But anyways, he doesn't, and Geekie, who gets an assist on the Zacha goal and then gets the Bruins up 2-1. They end up getting 8 shots in the first 7 for Buff. But then we go to the second period. Owen Power ends up getting a goal from McLeod. As good a wrist shot have we seen this year. That puck was in and out of the net so fast. And next thing I know, the puck was like on the half wall on the other side. I'm like, did the puck break? Did some piece of equipment come off or something like that? I couldn't figure it out. And then I saw the goal and it was like, holy smokes. Owen Power, former first round pick from a couple of years ago, is a monster of a man, but defensively, he's still at times, but offensively, he brought it. And in this game, he had 3 points, Razor. He was obviously noticeable.
Yeah, he was sneaky 3 points. And again, another seam pass, right? Like just a second period lapse where the shift got long and things started opening up. And yeah, first overall picks are supposed to do that. He hasn't done a lot of it.
Right.
And you're wondering where he is in his trajectory for Buffalo's sake. But on that play, he showed his talent.
All right. So it's 2-2. We go to overtime. There's a call made on Hustadinov after Mason Lowry had an opportunity that I believe it was Alex Tuck that the Bruins felt slashed him significantly. I saw he got slashed mid-body. I didn't think it was in the hands. Did you? Could you tell or no?
No, we watched it and there was a push after as well. I honestly, my issue on that was too many men. Like the change that Buffalo pulled off.
He pulled coming back. It was about 10 feet.
Yeah, that I mean, again, I guess at the exact time of them jumping off the bench, you're like, oh, they're still going to get a 2-on-1, but he got back into the play. Tuck did because he came off the bench and he had a lot of gas to do it. So I would have been more annoyed, and I'm assuming that's what David was complaining about because
sorry to interrupt. He said post game. I don't know if you caught it. He was upset that they felt that he was slashed too, and Sacco as well. But no, you're absolutely right about the too many men because I said that's too. It was one of those, using your word, sneaky. It was one of those sneaky good, if you're a Buffalo fan, plays where I don't know the player who was coming off, but Tuck absolutely went to like the other side. He was on the ice while the other guy was still skating off.
No question. He was able to get back into the play, and it affected Lowry's decision. He had to go left. Like there's no way he could go right because of the back check, but he probably could have if the back check was a little bit later. And then they missed the puck. Hustadinov misses the puck. It sticks there, and now you're dealing with a 4-on-3.
Yeah, and it was a trip, but I would call it if they had let it go, I could have actually seen it. I could have, because I think Buffalo is still going to regain control of the puck.
Yeah.
But I will always say this. If it happened against the Bruins, I would have wanted that call. But anyways, Tuck ends up scoring his 26th goal. Power gets the assist in overtime, 4:49 mark. It was a shot from the left side, slot left. Power waited for Tuck to really present in front. And it also goes off the defenseman, I think it was Yoki Haru, that ends up nicking off him, and then it goes off the stick side or the shaft of Tuck and into the net. And the Bruins lose. Couple of things we're going to run through. We're going to do our sponsors here first, and then we're going to go through this. We already know that the limited offense is because they are who they are. We don't need to talk about that anymore, but we're going to talk about the Zadorov hit on Thompson and the fight. We'll talk about I want to talk a little bit about Casey Middlestat in this game, being a former Bruin. Korpisalo's effort. I thought he battled hard in this game. And then I think that's it. And maybe if you got one or two other things, then you let me know, okay? But it's one of those nights where the synapses aren't firing because I've started to take my Sunset Lake CBD stuff. But before we get to them, we're going to get to Graciano Construction because they serve Boston and the Greater Metro West area, and they help build things that are great in your house. They are the contractor that will help make your house feel new and revitalized, or they can actually do a full gut job for you as well. They'll do it all: bathrooms, kitchens, porch projects, full renovation, small renovation, painting, and even garages. There's nothing that Graciano Construction can't do. You got to check them out. Doug Graciano at GracianoConstruction.com or 508-330-7589. Give them a call, get a consultation, discuss what you're looking to do. I've got some friends that have used them as well, Razor, and they've been very, very happy with what they have done. Speaking of very happy, let's go to Sunset Lake CBD, because they make you happy, those products too. You know, they're, like I said, they're going to make me happy, and they've got everything that you could really want for whatever you're looking to deal with, or not deal with, but you want to address. First of all, they're offering our listeners a code BREW20 for 20% off your entire order. You go to sunsetlakecbd.com. They got so many different things. They take so much pride in their customer service. They want to talk. They're more than happy to share information that they have. If they've got an issue, they want to know about it, and they will try and help make it right. If you order over $75, Sunset Lake CBD will ship your order for free. Sunset Lake CBD, they grow, harvest, and ship all of its craft CBD products directly from its farm in northern Vermont, straight to your door. Whether you want to relax or you're a little bit, I don't know, whether it's, stressed or whatever, they got these different products that make it great. I know RC's been using some. I know you've been using some. They've got these focus gummies, Razor, and these vibe gummies that I like to take at different times during the day. And then they've also, as I've talked about it at length, the sleep stuff. So I've had fun with it, and I can tell a difference. And because of that, it's working for me. And so again, Razor, people can just call over there, talk to them about different things, and try stuff.
No, it's great. The stuff's great. It's so natural, easy to take, and they have a process. We hear a lot about process in the NHL. There is a process to this, and taking care of your body and getting better sleep, or getting better days, getting focused, etc. The stuff's real good. So make sure you give them a call.
Give them a call. Check them out. SunsetLakeCBD.com. And again, use the code BREW20. I think, folks, you're going to really like it. And they've gotten a bunch of orders from Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor listeners already. We appreciate that, but give them a go. I think you'll really like it. Speaking of giving it a go, the other place you should give a go is RTN Realty. RTN Realty is great. Chris Gentile and his staff of 16 agents and support staff, they've got you covered for whatever you're looking to do. Nothing too big or too small for RTN Realty. Reach out to Chris or one of his agents at cgentile@rtnrealty.com, or call him directly, 617-835-0845 for a no-pressure consultation. The spring rental market is upon us. You want to call him. He will help you. He will help take care of what you want, and he will find you what you want. He will listen to what you want. RTN Realty. Check out at cgentile@rtnrealty.com. All right. What do we want to get to first? Okay, Zadorov. We want to do that play? Let's get to the Zadorov and Tage Thompson play. Thompson brings the puck through middle ice over the blue line, distributes it, and then looking over to his left, while looking over his left, Zadorov steps into him, doesn't hit him high, but hits him hard and takes him down. After that, Jordan Greenway gets into a fight with Nikita Zadorov, 2 6'6" guys, some big guys going at it. Greenway, not really a fighter. He did it last game, though, too. Buffalo has been chastised for not being physical enough this season, and they've started to drop the mitts a bit more. I said on the air, I actually thought it could have been called an interference penalty on Zadorov. I thought it was a little late. I did. And the rule is 0.6, Razor. 0.6 seconds they use, the NHL does, for suspendable offenses for late hits or interferences. Is that the term, interferences? Anyways, interference. This was even longer than that. I had the guys time it. They felt it was a second. I just think it was a minor, by no means suspendable. But it could have been called, and it wasn't. But I give Greenway credit, and it was a pretty good tilt between those guys. How did you view that play? And I did think it also helped kind of, at that time, boost the Bruins.
No, it did. And I think that's that's the Bruins do need you need that in the playoffs. You need because you can kind of nullify a Tage Thompson on a night like tonight, a player like that, by making that hit early in the game. You can set tones by doing that. I agree 100%. It was late, especially whether it was a second or 0.6 or 0.8, like that was a tone setter in the NHL nowadays, no question. And I think that's why you have
in your day, that was a great play.
Yeah, I mean, you take the guy's head off at that point, right? Like
right.
Back in the old days, like you run that guy over and can't wait to do it. But again, it's a little different. But you do need, and I think that's kind of the, maybe in the regular season it's not as effective, but certainly in a 7-game series that becomes effective. If that's Matthew Tkachuk a couple years ago, like that changes things. But good on Greenway to step up. Good on, again, the Zadorov. That's where he's best. That is really where he's best.
Zadorov, since the trade deadline appears, we're obviously not sitting in the locker room, but it appears as if he has attempted to take more of a leadership role on the ice, doing things. Have you felt the same way? And are you feeling like it's almost helped him in some way, meaning have more of a role?
Yeah, I do. And I again, this might be, thinking optimistically and glass half full. Like, I think about a situation where he's out there, but they also have McAvoy and Lindholm in the lineup, where he can do that, but also, let those guys kill the penalty, or those guys run the 3-on-3, or so yeah, I hope that, he is getting comfortable like Mason Lohrei in these situations, but also get in a situation where they don't have to rely on him to do what he's doing right now when those two guys get next season back in the lineup. But yes, I do agree with that. And I think he's getting back to his game a little bit and just being solid.
Yeah, which is what they need. That's just it.
They've needed that. We've talked about the left-handed defenseman needing that. It hasn't lined up the way that we all thought it would be this year.
What do you think Korpisalo's game? I thought he battled his ass off.
He did. Yeah, I feel so bad for him to get that far, even through the PK in overtime, to get that close to at least getting through and not giving up the third goal. He would have been 2-on-30. His numbers would be great, and you lose in a shootout, whatever. But yeah, he battled, and you could tell how invested he was. He's punting pucks, he's fighting, he's blockering guys. Like, again, there's no way that guy doesn't get an A at the end of the season for his grade of what he's done for this team.
Did you ever drop kick or punt the puck like that in a game?
Definitely in practice. I don't remember doing it in a game in that situation, but I love the style. I do.
It's very effective.
We did say on the couch, like, the fin came out in him there. Like, Tukes was very proud.
Yes, because Jonas has been very composed, and he's so Finnish. He's very everything's good. It's okay. He's always got he comports himself very well. But it was actually very nice and fun to see that emotion come out of him.
Yeah, you want that. That's the kind of guy you want, and that's, you don't get to the NHL without having a little of that, or a lot of that in some situations. But yeah, no, like Mace texted me tonight. He's like, "Oh, did he punt the puck?" I'm like, "Yeah, you need to have some FU in you a little bit, where you get upset with what's going on."
Yeah, you can show, and he was lamenting that the refs didn't call that penalty when was McLeod, I think, caught him in the hand. The slash, he was getting perturbed about that. And it's really okay if you have an emotional outburst. You want to control it. Like, he controlled it enough there. It wasn't
it didn't affect
the game, right?
No, not at all. And that it shows your teammates that you need to be that kind of guy.
So, okay, in theory, with a performance like this, doesn't he have to have earned another game on the road trip? Like, I could see Swayman going 3 and him going 2 starts on the road. Wouldn't that be fair, or at least somewhat fair to expect?
Yeah, I do. I think he's more than earned more ice time. And it's that time of season where you earn your ice time, and he's done that. He's every time he goes in there, no matter what the situation, he's grinding and he's working, and I think it would suit him well to play a little bit more.
Peyton Krebs gets hit in the face off of a face-off by Pavel Zacha, and I mean, not like dinged. I mean, he got corked in the face. We can laugh now because I think he's okay and everything, but he was like, he was chirping at somebody. I think he was just pissed off on the bench that Zacha had caught him. Obviously didn't mean it. I mean, the puck hit him hard earlier this season, about a month and a half ago. Marchenko, the kid from Columbus, was sitting on the bench, and there was an outlet pass from one of his own teammates. I can't remember which one. It may have been Jack Johnson, but if not, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't remember. Actually, I don't think it was. Regardless, it hit him and broke his jaw, right? Like I'm almost surprised it doesn't happen more, quite honest. But, I mean, can you recall an injury when the guy's sitting on the bench and gets absolutely,
Well, the lefty there, and you see him pulling towards on the forehand side, you got to wake up a little bit more on the bench. And that's, as a backup goalie that I was, you recognize little situations like that. Like, I'm going to be a little more aware here. I've had my 2 hot dogs, but this is a big boy taking a face off, and he's taking it right at us. I'm going to be aware here. And right in the schnoz. Brutal. No, it's not going to feel good tomorrow for sure.
No, Krebs still played 17-26, so I think he ends up being all right. He had that goal in the first period too. It was a beautiful shot on the power play. All right. I think that's pretty much it. The only thing I could say is I think people liked our food talk a bit. So do we dare dive into one more little food conversation here? And
we must.
Buffalo wings. I mean, because we're playing Buffalo. Do we have a favorite spot for wings? Do we have a favorite style of wing? Is it worthy of a 2-minute conversation?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you think, in your time playing, did you ever go out for wings in Buffalo? Did you do the Anchor Bar or whatever?
Yes.
And what were your thoughts on those?
No, the Anchor Bar is great. The other thing too was always sneaky. You could get room service buffalo wings in Buffalo, and they'd be better than most other places that you would get them. So you could get back to the hotel early. You could get 6 or 8 wings, in the room late at night.
Nobody eats 6 or 8 wings. If you're only eating 6 or 8, come on, you're getting a dozen. For Christ's sake.
Well, maybe you get a dozen, you eat 6 of them. How about that?
You know what I hate when I go to a restaurant and they say wings, and I think I'm getting a dozen, right? And it's like, you end up getting 6. If I ever get small wings, I want to throw them back at somebody, and I am not a violent person. I want big wings. I do.
Pterodactyl wings.
I want the big wings. I don't need full drumstick, but I want a big wing. Okay, so you like that? Okay, in Buffalo, and they're good. There's I can't remember the name of it. Something Gate in Gabriel's Gate, maybe in Buffalo. The wings were pretty good there. I like Anchor Bar. Do I think they're the end all be all? I'm not a real spicy
place now.
Yeah, it is touristy place. Are you just a regular Buffalo style, or do you like some other flavors?
No, mild, medium buffalo with a lot of blue cheese is kind of the go-to. Obviously, here in town, you go to Bob's, you get the Parmesan, garlic Parmesan ones. Those,
very good. Very good.
You can't really trust. It takes a little while to really believe in those on someone else's menu. Like, you need to know the menu to order those.
They have sriracha. Do you ever have the garlic sriracha?
No, I don't do sriracha ones.
You know what? I'm telling you, I didn't either until a little while ago. And I got to tell you something, at Buff's.
It's the way to go.
Tremendous. Yeah. Tremendous. Yes. I might get.
It kind of makes me nervous. It sounds hot to me.
It isn't that hot. If you're willing to eat medium, that's fine. Because then you got and I also love, I don't mind honey hot. I like them, in fact, but I like honey barbecue a lot too. But the garlic sriracha ones were really, really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I would like to try. I love wings. I don't know if I'd want to go on a wing tour of Buffalo, but it's been a few years since I've been to.
They
the
do
Anchor
them
Bar.
better there than anywhere else, right?
Yeah,
Like
I think
you
so.
could go to 5 different places and you're going to get better wings than where you would anywhere else.
There's a place in Waltham called Shoppers.
Oh
Cafe.
yeah, the Chopper.
They've got really good
Yeah.
wings there. Kind of sneaky good wings too.
We've ordered that in and the pizzas.
We've had that. Pizzas were really good as well too. So, all right, well, folks, if you have a good wing, and I mean good, not like good, I'm talking really good wing place, maybe let us know. And because we are where we are right now, I think we might get a 2-minute foodie section of some talking segment in the show. It is what it is. All right, we got anything else we want to get to? Bergie good and Tuca good. Everybody good there? Everybody fine? You just saw 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so. It's been a long 10 days for those guys, right? Like it was a lot losing. Brad not being there has affected. In some respects, and
what they say about it.
It's just you just want to they don't want to lose what they had. They worked really hard to put this stuff together for a long time, so they really have so much pride, and they have so much pride in what's been done, and we've talked about it. Like Brad is a big deal to everybody.
Oh yeah,
you've been around Brad for 10 years. It's not flippant. It's a big deal. It really is. And so they're they just want everything to work out the way they've worked it the last few years.
Interesting to see. Did you happen to catch the social media clip of Don Sweeney announcing the trade?
I did see it.
Yeah. It felt like, to me, he was just trying to be business-like. I mean, the cameras are there, so he wanted to deliver it. He had to deliver it. And as I said on the Nesson set, it felt to me like he was so matter-of-fact about it, but he was internally, languishing. But it was like ripping the Band-Aid off. Like, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to do it. And we're going to go with it. There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of like your kid gets in trouble at school and you come home and you tell your wife, like, yeah, he did this again.
Yeah.
And you just want to get it over with, and you don't really want to talk about it anymore. And you make it kind of known that we're not talking about this, but this happened.
Right.
I thought you hit the nail on the head with that, because that's what it felt. He came in the room, this happened, but no one's asking me about this. No one in this room is asking.
Here are the details. Yep. Listen, and okay, that's it for now.
We're moving on.
At least, publicly, obviously, in front of the camera. So interesting stuff. All right, it's going to wrap up this morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. We covered a lot. So Razor, you and I've got some busy times coming up this week, which is a good thing. You're working the Bruins game Thursday night late in Vegas. I'm working the Hockey East doubleheader on Thursday night as well.
That's real work, by the way, folks. That's not like I'm doing like kind of work. We're
working
games twice. Yeah,
we will do a show. We will record a show, folks. The next show Friday morning. So I'll get back. I'll check out the Bruins game. Razor and I will talk. Maybe we'll do some, I don't know. Maybe we'll do our favorite Vegas something. I don't know. Who knows? But we'll do a show Friday morning, and we'll turn it out or turn it around. RC will do it as quickly as possible to get it out. So the schedule's going to be a little different coming up, if only because it's the West Coast. So we will let you know. But for sure, Friday morning, the plan is to record the next morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. Bruins lose this night 3-2 in overtime. That's it. I got nothing else witty to say. I'm tired. It's time to go to bed. The gummies have kicked in. Everybody enjoy your gummies, but also, hey, you know what? Really enjoy your coffee.